Hi everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdie.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday, episode 165. Can you believe it? We've done 165 of these. And so I'm a little bit later doing my goodies and guts this month because of my spring social, but that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to be making the guts for February. So this is just something that I do. Stampin' Up! Doesn't do it. It's like a free class every month. So if you order 75 before tax and shipping, you can pick goodies, and they're usually an embellishment or something like that, or guts. And then that makes 3 projects, and you get the supplies to make those. Now nothing is stamped on there, so you'll need, your own ink, you'll need your stamp set, things like that, and then I'll explain it in the video. If you order 150 before tax and shipping, not only do you get hostess benefits, but you can get both the goodies and the guts. And a lot of people do that. Because then you don't have to decide, right? Well, which one do I do? You can get both. So that's what we're going to do today. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to pick winner number 3 for my $1 million in sales giveaway. So I have myself a note so I don't forget, because I forget very easily things. So I'm going to spin the camera in a second. I do want to welcome you if you are new. Excuse me. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. And I have been a demonstrator since 1999. So that's been a long time. I've seen a lot of things come and go, and things change and all that kind of stuff. So it's taken me a while to get to that $1 million in sales, but I love what I do every day, and no matter what. So so I want to thank you for being here. Okay, close your eyes for a second while I get adjusted, and we will get started. Okay. So let me go over. Here we go. All right, we don't need the mouse in the way. So goodies and guts. So here's my little pick number 3. I have to remember. All right, so I'm gonna stick that there, and hopefully I don't forget. So every month I have different goodies and guts, and so if you use my hostess code, so this is a hostess code for February. This helps me do the goodies and guts, because I actually, all those orders get looped together, and then I use my free hostess benefits to get your goodies and guts. So then I just have to pay for the postage. So that allows me to keep doing that. Now, keep in mind, this is if you're ordering $150 before tax and shipping, or less than $150. If you're ordering $150 before tax and shipping, don't use my code, because then you'll get your own hostess benefits, but you'll still be eligible for my goodies and my guts. All right, so this is what we're going to pick at the end of the video. I also want to remind you, I do have a class in the mail kit that you can register for now, and this is till February the 24th. So you've got 10 days or so to sign up for that. And my classes in the mail are so much fun. So it's going to be the Share Milkshake Bundle. You get little opaque gems, a fun little ice cream cone pen, and there'll be 5 projects. Now there's a couple ways to get the class. You can get it where you just get the stamp set. You will need the die, but maybe you already have it. So it's $57, includes everything I mentioned in the 5 projects, priority postage, PDF, all that good stuff. But if you need the bundle, then it's $86. But you also will earn a celebration item for that way. If you are a member of my team, and now is a great time to join, because you get extra stuff in your starter kit. But I do offer my class in the mail kits to my team for only $25. That's just a little perk. And then they get the guts, but they order their own stamp set, their gems, their folder. They just get the card packet, and that way it helps them do their minimums and they get commission. So if you have any questions at all, I'd love to chat with you about that. All right, so let me set that off to the side. All right, so goodies and guts. So this is basically what you would get in the mail. Now this will be sealed and all that kind of good stuff. But so these are the goodies for the month of February. So if you order $75 before tax and shipping, you can pick goodies or the guts, or before, like I said, if you order $150 before tax and shipping, you can pick both. And we are getting this month the Enamel Dot Essentials, and these are gorgeous, and we're actually going to use them today on our guts. All right, so that's what you'll get, and then you'll get your little envelope. So this is how it comes. This is everything that you need. Again, nothing is stamped or anything like that. You'll have to do that. You got your little embellishment packets. I'll keep that out. You have a little business card. Now this is where there will be this link to this video. So I don't know what this link is yet because the video is not done. So this will actually have the link to this video so that you can go back and watch me making these cards when you get them, about the first week or so of March, because that's when I send out my thank you cards, are the following month. All right, so let me set that aside. So let's get started. Now I will be a little bit more specific on what I'm using, because this will be the video that you will reference back to. So it's almost like this is like how I do my classes in the mail. So this kind of gives you an idea. All right, so let's see here. So we have our 3 projects. And all right, so we are going to do this card first. It is so beautiful. Now this is some of the Celebration DSP, and it makes a gorgeous card, and it's so easy to do. So that's going to be the first project that we're going to do. So this is what's in the envelope. Now these are some cards. I can't remember now, but we could get these a while ago, and I grabbed a bunch of them because they're so cute. They've got like a texture look to them. They got polka dots on the envelopes. So that's where this came from. So here's what we need for this card. And this card, the stamp set I'm using is the Country Bouquet. Now this is just what I used. This does not mean you have to use it. You might have something at home, but this is what I used for this card. All right. So we have a few pieces. So what I like to do is I like to show you what your layers are so that you're kind of knowing what's going on before we get started. So you have a big piece of basic white that's going to go on the inside, as well as your strip. And then these 2 pieces go on the outside, just so that you get familiarize yourself with it. Okay. So let's bring this over, because these pieces are different size. So just make sure you check that out. All right, I am going to use the Memento. Memento is better ink when you use the photopolymer. It doesn't mean you can't use a StazOn, but Stampin' Up! Suggests that you just use the Memento. If you use a StazOn, then make sure you just wash it right away so that it doesn't get stuck on there. All right, so we're gonna go, just wanted to say, let me make sure I've got that good and inked. Yes, and this is just gonna go down here on the bottom. Just wanted to say, I love it, has that little doo-doo-doo. All right, and then let's do our inside. So let me put this little strip on the bottom. Now you can, if you want, do it the other side. We have that magical 2-sided DSP. All right, so this is just going to go here, and like I said, this is some gorgeous paper. If you haven't picked up this pack yet, make sure you do. Now when you're rewatching this video, once you get your packet, of course it will be March, so Celebration will be over, so some of that will be old news. All right, but today when you're watching it, when we watch it live, I'm watching over in the side with you during the chat, so make sure you ask me any questions over there if you can. All right, so just wanted to say, and then I want to say, I love that we are friends. And we're going to put that on the inside. And I'm going to stick it down here. Sometimes I find that I can stamp a little straighter if I use a straight edge. So I'm going to put my little greeting over here like that. And then this will give me room, you know, to write a little note if I want. Okay. So this is a really, really quick card to do. Okay, so let's put this on the front. Because that DSP is doing all the work for us because it is so gorgeous. All right, so this goes on here. And this reminded me of almost like a photo, right? Where it has that white thing that you would write on. So that's what that kind of reminded me of. All right, so now we need this out of our little bag. So you have some black and white striped baker's twine. And we are just going to tie this around. But what I want to do is I want to tie it once it's on the card. So I'm going to get my twine in there. Then I'm going to flip this over. And we're going to put some dimensionals. And I'm using these. Now, this is just, let me get this so it's even. These are from a kit. So they're like long, but they're just basically a long strip dimensional. And we actually had them in the catalog, but they're longer. So if you do like these where you can cut them the length you need, they're just the foam adhesive strips. These are just, like I said, come from a kit, so they're a little bit shorter, but it's basically the same thing. And they're just long dimensionals. So I'm just going to put those along the side. And one in the center. Well, there's two there. All right. Because I want to tie my ribbon once this is on the card. So I want to just make sure that my ribbon's on there and it'll be tucked inside the card. And then we can tie it. It's a lot easier to tie this piece once it's attached to the card. So it's a little more stable. All right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're just tying a bow just like we tie our shoes. Easy peasy. And I love how that looked. Now this ribbon, I don't know if we can get this ribbon or not. Always check that clearance rack because this was the pet ribbon. And you got red and black and white with it. So I usually always like to grab things from the clearance rack. So hopefully you do too, because it's a great value. And you can get some really fun stuff. Because look how cute that ribbon is on there. So this is done. Oh, except we got to put her inside. Hold on a second. Got to put the inside. So I didn't put any bling on this card because that DSP is just gorgeous. And I thought the ribbon was plenty enough. And that is in itself is kind of like an embellishment ribbon. All right, so there we have the first card. All right, so let's get to the second card. The second card is this one right here. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it. And it uses some more of those little envelopes. Cards and envelopes that I mentioned. We're also going to be using a mask. So like I said, you'll need to get that yourself. And the masks are on page 128 in the catalog. So they're super fun. We're also going to be using a blending brush. Now we have two different sizes now. So we have the mama one and the baby one. And I'm just going to use the mama one. All right, so let me get the pieces. We're also using the stamp set Dainty Delight, and I love this set. It is so beautiful. So let's get everything out of our envelope. Now, of course, you could stamp the front of the envelope if you wanted. All right, but it's so cute. The green ones have like stripes on the back. I love that. Okay, so these are the pieces. So just like before, I'm going to explain all your pieces. All right, so we have our card. This goes on the inside and then the outside. And then this is where the greeting will go on. All right, so let me get these two pieces because I'm going to do a little bit of blending on there with the mask on these two pieces. So this is the inside. So I just want to do one of the corners, and we're going to use Balmy Blue. And let's bring our mask over. Now I just wrote top, and that means, it doesn't actually mean that this has to be the top. It just means this is the top that I'm looking at, because this is shiny. So this is the side I like to use. This one is a little dull, so I feel like, you know, that the blending brush glides a little better on the shiny piece. It could just be a figment of my imagination, but so I just like to write that. And then if you reuse it on a card over and over, like if you're making like a whole bunch of them, then you haven't flipped it over and you've got the ink on the other side, it makes a mess. So then you always know, well, this is the side that I just used and put the ink, and they're easy to wash off. I just take it into the laundry sink and I just wash it off with water. Okay, so this is the inside. So I just want to put a little bit in the corner here. So I'm just rubbing some of that off. And I'm just going to put a little bit here in the corner. So that looks so cute. And then we'll just stamp over it. All right, so now the front is the smaller piece of shimmery. Now this is shimmery white because we're going to do some watercoloring. So I'm going to use my water painter. All right. So again, just rub a little bit of that off and then just bring it over and we'll put it on the card. And I just want it to be in the center so it looks like there's lattice there. Okay, so then I'll just take this to the laundry sink and wash it off. Okay, so now let's do some watercoloring. Now what I did ahead of time too was on my little, excuse my arm, on my little banner here, which came from, so this came from Seasonal Labels. And I just stamped already my little Celebrate You just ahead of time. All right, just to save some time. All right. Now I have it cut because we are going to cut it. So, but you get a full one. All right, so let's bring our flowers over. Now I am going to be watercoloring, so we are going to use the StazOn pad this time. StazOn is good for watercoloring. It's great for the shimmery because that's what I watercolor on. If you're going to change this up and do with blends, then don't use the StazOn because you don't want to use the StazOn with the blends. All right. I usually don't use shimmery with the blends either. I usually just stick with the basic white. But that's just me. I find I get better luck with the basic white. All right, so this is the StazOn, that watercolor pad, and we're just going to stamp our flower right here. And then let's do this fun little one here. And we're going to do a couple of these. We're also going to put this one on the inside. So let's put this one here. So we're just making like a little garden scene in front of our lattice. And you may have different masks at home that would work. Totally can. All right, so let's bring our inside over, and then I just like to let them dry a little bit before I start coloring. All right, so this goes here. I just love that look of that lattice back there. All right, get my pads out of the way. so we're going to do some watercoloring. Let's bring this over. It should be fairly dry. I have my handy dandy little silicone. If you've seen me watercolor at all, you know I have this little silicone. It basically is the big silicone, and I just cut it into 4. So I just have them sitting in on my desk. I have a little makeup sponge there, little cotton round, and this just keeps my water painter clean. All right, this is the bigger one. I don't want the bigger one. You have 3 size brushes. This is the one I want. It's a smaller tip, because you have this tip, and this tip. So you have 3 choices. This one is what I use more just to get if I'm putting a lot of one color around, I use that one mostly. This one is for bigger areas, but these flowers are kind of small, so I'm going to use my smaller one. And the aqua painters, you open them opposite, because you know we're used to going righty tighty, lefty loosey. They're the opposite. So to loosen it, you go right. So just so you know, if you have one of these and you go, I can't get the lid off, that's why. All right, let's see. This one has a little bit more water, so we might have to fill it with water halfway through, but hey, that's okay. This is live. All right, so let's put a little shadow. So I'm going to take some gray granite, and I have just put a little drop in the pad here, the lid, and we're just going to take some light, just do it really kind of light, and that's just going to add a shadow around our flowers, which will just make them pop off the page a little bit. Now, a lot of times I'll use blue, so it gives you that visual that there's sky, but since I put balmy blue here, you wouldn't necessarily see the shadow, so that's why I went and did the gray granite instead. All right, that's good. We don't need a whole lot. And then the inside as well. The watercoloring is so easy, and especially with the flowers, it's just a lot easier to do. All right, so let's see, let's go with our yellow. So I usually color lightest to darkest. So yellow is pretty light, so we're going to do yellow next. And you pretty much just have to fill up your brush once, and then we're going to color really quick. One coat on your flowers. So see how fast that is? I might have to get a little bit more for these ones. And then let it dry all the way. It doesn't take super long because I really didn't load this with tons of water or tons of ink. Once it's dry, we can go back in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here where it's a little more concentrated, so it's a little darker, and then we're just going to put a little bit more. Now this was Mango Melody. I forgot to tell you what color. Sorry about that. There will be also a list below the video, so you'll be able to see what you needed. But I'm just putting that where it's more concentrated right on the flower. And then that way your flower has light and dark, so it makes it look a lot better. Of course, my thingy doesn't want to, there we go. So see, very easy. And then just squeeze and clean. So that's our yellow. Let's see, next color, we'll do our freesia. And again, I've got little drops in the lid there. And I want these, whatever these flowers are, to have freesia. And I'm going quick with those. So I'm not just staying within, you know, the little flower. I'm making it go out. So I'm just dragging it across so that it has like a whole flower, whole big flower on there. And then we got to do the inside as well. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let that dry. Let me give this a squeeze. You can squeeze or you can put drops. But since I have just a few left, I just gave it a squeeze. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm getting where it's more concentrated. And then I'm just going to put a couple drops. Just dot, dot, dot. Just so that there's some darker freesia in a few areas. And that will take a little longer to dry because it's a little thicker. All right, so squeeze and clean. Squeeze and clean. All right. Now, Garden Green is darker than Sweet Sorbet or any of the reds, but I always do red last when I'm watercoloring. So watercoloring is a little different than when we use the blends because if you brush up against it, it can pull. So if I do my red first and then I add my green and I, hit that red, it will pull that red into the green, and we don't want that. So I always do my red last. All right. The Stampin' blends are a little bit different. Okay, so this is just Garden Green, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting it pretty diluted, and I'm just going to drag it around and color my leaves. And I kept them all the same. If you have multiple greens, I kept them kind of simple, so I didn't have you needing tons. But if you wanted to use several greens, you could. Each plant could be its own green. But this is so easy, so I'm just dragging that around. So see, I haven't even had to go back in and get more green because it's just our first coat. All right, now I'll grab more to go onto these flowers. But this is such a pretty set. All right. So then I'll do the same thing here. And if you want to do the same thing where I added a little bit more, just go in where it's a little more concentrated, and you can add a little bit of darker to the leaves, and that way your green isn't all the same color, and it just makes it look more realistic and watercolored. But look how fast it is. It's just so quick, and nature or flowers is so forgiving for watercoloring. All right, so see, you can see where I've added, so simple on how we can see where it's a little darker in areas from the freesia just by adding that little dot, dot, dot. All right, now we're going to finish with this Sweet Sorbet. And I'm going to color these little berries or whatever they are with this Sweet Sorbet. So again, I'm just grabbing where it's more diluted. I'm kind of filling that brush up. And then we're just going to dot, dot, dot. So I'm not coloring them in necessarily. I don't care if there's any little bits of white. It just makes it look more natural. So it's very quick, and then we'll make sure it's all the way dry before we add any more red or Sweet Sorbet. All right, so make sure, just give it, you can hear me blowing off to the side, so it's dry. Now I'm going to go up into here where it's really, really red, where it's not as diluted, it's more concentrated, and I'm going to just put an odd dot here and there, and that way my berries aren't all the same color. All right, so that is colored. So see, that wasn't too bad. All right, let me put my lid on. So if I ever miss anything, always let me know. Like if you go, oh, you forgot to mention whatever on my supply list, let me know, because it's easy to forget. All right, I'm just going to turn my whatchamacallit over. All right, so let's get to assemble our card. So this is the inside. I didn't use any DSP because this is already decorating the inside. So don't feel like, you know, you always have to put DSP on the inside, but definitely put a little something. And look how easy it was adding that little bit to the corner. Now this is shimmery, so it looks a little bit different than the card. It might not come up, it might not show as much on the video, but it is a little bit different color than the card because we use the shimmery. All right, so I want to bring my Celebrate You over, and I'm going to put this on with those dimensionals. Like again, I'm still using these little strips just to use them up. All right, so we're going to go Celebrate You, and I'm just going to put this on here, and we're going to trim it. So that's why I just used one that I had already trimmed the side off of. Let's see if that looks pretty straight. And then we'll just use the side of the card to trim that off. Then we will glue it to our garden green. And we're going to put our garden green piece on the card itself with dimensionals too, so it sticks up a little bit. All right, so let's bring these over. We'll get these used up yet. All right. There's one piece. Well, there's two now. Two. 3 and 4. Okay, and this I made it be a little smaller so you can see that textured card around there a little better by having it have a little more of a border. So there's a Celebrate You. Now let's bring over some of our embellishments, and you want the little white, 3 little white ones. Let me bring my little bowl over that Jeff made me so I can dump my things in there so I don't lose them. All right, so we're going to use the little white embellishments. Let me get my pick tool. Magical. Now it's, I don't even know why I did that because I don't want that size, but hey, you learned that you can flip that over. Okay, so we are going to do a big white. Get over there. All right, so we have a big white one. These are actually the goodies for this month. So I'm actually using them today. And it likes the plastic. Get off of there. There we go. Oh my gosh, hang on a second. Maybe I should have used my thing. It's like, don't get me off the plastic. All right, so we're going to put one here. So 1, 2, and 3. This is craziness. It's like when you had a kid and you go, oh, look, they like to do this, and then they wouldn't do it in front of the company. That's what I feel like today when those little things are acting up. All right, so look how cute our Celebrate You is. So simple, so easy. All right, so let's get to the third card. Okay, the third card is this one here, and this actually uses some of the Celebration DSP as well, and the beautiful thistle stamp set. All right, so let me show you what we're using. So we're using the beautiful thistle. Now I did use the die, but you could totally fussy cut out the thistle. We're using the beautiful thistle, but the greeting I used is from Happy Labels, is where I got the greeting from. All right, So let's see, these are the pieces in your envelope, and you could stamp your envelope if you'd like. All right, so we have Highland Heather is your card base. This is for your greeting. So let me show you your layers. So this is going to go on the inside of your card. Then we have, this is on the outside of your card. So you've got some of this. Remember we had the cork paper? Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. And this is perfect to use with this DSP. I don't know if you can still get the cork. It's so bad. Just check out that clearance rack because things come and go. All right, so that goes on here. And then this piece is what you're going to stamp your thistle, and I used the memento, so I stamped my thistle with the memento. Let me get my thistle over here, and I die cut it out. So I did that earlier, so let me just show you here. So we're just going to stamp our thistle, and we are going to use the blends, so we're using memento, not StazOn. Okay, so we've got our cute little thistle, and then we will, you know, die cut it out, and the magic of television or videos, there it is. All right, I also am using, here it is, Rich Razzleberry for my greeting on here, because Rich Razzleberry is in the DSP, so I kind of wanted to bring it in somewhere. It's a little bit darker than the Highland. This is Freesia. All right, so let's see. You've got the biggest heart. Isn't that the cutest little saying? All right, so that looks good. So I'll stamp that on my label. And this label came from, that is Fragrant Flowers is where I got this label from. Okay, so let's, while we have that ink pad open to the inside, then we can close that ink pad. So this is going to go on the inside. And if you want to put it this way, you totally could. I'm just going to put it on the bottom. And trim our tails off. And then we can put our greeting. And then I just went thank you on the inside. Now a lot of times I will leave these blank because then I can always add something later, or I can, you know, write a note. But I did thank you. All right. So thank you. So let's bring our thistle over and get it colored. So we are going to use the Stampin' blends, and I'm going to be using parakeet. So let's do light parakeet. So I'm just going to color the whole like stem and then this part with the light parakeet. We're also going to use dark parakeet, but I'm also going to use granny apple, and this is dark granny apple, so that's just going to add a little bit of dark in the nook and cranny. So let's see. So this is pretty quick to color. So what I like to do is I like to go around my edges first, and then we can color quick in the center. So this was the light parakeet. It's my go-to green, I swear. All right, so light parakeet. And I did use the die to cut this out, but like I said, it's pretty easy to fussy cut if you don't have the die. Okay, so light Then we're going to go dark. So we're going to just go dark parakeet in certain areas. So it has these little like kind of hash mark drawings on it. So that's kind of where I go to more, that's where it's going to be darker. And then I just want to put a little dark where these little, whatever these are, these sicily pod things are coming out. So I'm just drawing it a little bit darker. I'm leaving the tips are the light parakeet. I don't want to color it all in. I just, because I want to have a variegation of green. So now we're going to take our dark granny apple and we're just going to dot, dot, dot. Just where I want it to be the darkest green, but we're not putting tons. I still want to see the light and dark parakeet, but I just want to emphasize down like right where those little pod things come out, that it would be super dark in there. So I'm just putting a tiny, tiny little bit, not a lot, but it just really adds definition to the thistle. And I love this. This is actually one of the stamp sets everybody got for Spring Social. All right, so see how pretty that looks by adding those 3 greens. Come on, camera. There it is. All right, and then let's do our the flower part. All right, so I've got light freesia, and I'm just coloring it like with lines because that's what it is. So I'm just doing lines. So I don't care if there's any white ones. I just want it to have like a movement and stuff. And then we're going to go light Highland heather. So I'm coming out from the center, but I'm not going all the way to the end because I want the ends of my flower to have that freesia. I don't want it to go all the way to the end. And then we're going to take our dark Highland, and just like we did that granny apple, I want to come in here next to where these little pod things, thistle things are, and add that dark. And we could go up just every once in a while, draw one up, but I want the tips to be light and I want it to be like variegated. So look how cute our thistle looks, and it is so beautiful. All right, so there's that. So let's put our card together. So we have this pretty DSP, and I'm just going to glue it directly to my cork DSP. And I love that nature kind of look of that cork. All right, then we're going to put our thistle in here with some dimensional. So let me grab these long skinny ones again. So they're actually perfect for the thistle. It lets me get it on the stalk. Okay. So thanks so much for joining me. And if you have any questions in regards to my goodies and guts, just holler. And I'll be picking number 3 as soon as I get done here. So hold on a second. Don't go too far. So I want to thank everybody for placing their orders so that I'm getting my on my way to my $1 million in lifetime sales as a demonstrator. I can't believe it. When I joined in 1999, that was a long time ago, I just wanted the discount. No way was I going to be talking to strangers and getting up in front of people and talk, and surprise, surprise, it's when you when you are passionate about something. I get that sounds very nerdy, but when you love what you do, it's easy to do. Like, I could never get up and talk about something that I didn't care about because I would be so nervous. So I want to thank you all for your orders and over the years, just all your sweet comments and following me and friending me and all that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I just put some dimensionals off to the side, and we are going to just straddle, which that sounds like a bad word. All right, but that's what we're doing. We're going over top of the flower with our greeting. So you've got the biggest heart, like that. This is going to go on the inside. Let's get that glued on the inside here. My thank you. And then we'll put our bling on. So again, this is the last of the guts cards for February. So when you order 75 before tax and shipping, you can pick goodies or guts. If you order 150 before tax and shipping, you get both. All right. So look how cute. Now let's put our bling on. And these are the rustic, I'm saying it wrong, but the list is below. Will be below the video so you know what I used. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2. I love these because they're very perfect with the flowers because they're kind of antique-y, natural looking. And let's put one here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So cute. All right, so let me show you the 3 cards and then we will pick winner number 3. All right, so you're gonna do 1. I'm gonna get my green envelope. So you've got your cute little green envelope. 2. And here's the pink envelope. 3. So these are the 3 cards for February. So these are the guts cards. And then the goodies I showed earlier. Let me see if I can find them. And these are the goodies. So these are the enamel dot essentials. So that is what you can earn in the month of February. All right. So let me put this aside. And let's get to our drawing. So we are, look at how we're doing here. So you can see I'm already starting into, so this will be number 4. So number 4 giveaway is going to be the same thing as number 3. I just need to change the name or the. We have our bucket, and I'll flip the camera. I'll flip the camera. All right, but I just want to remind you that every time you order, you'll get a ticket. And then I put the tickets in the bucket. But you can also, if you go to my blog post, which is right here, you can also comment. Now, you can only comment one time, and when you comment, you need to put your first and last name and what state you live in, because I can only do in the United States. So anyways, but I also will put that link below. And if you order 100 in a single order, then you get 2 tickets. So if you order 200, you get 4. So just kind of like that. But so today I'm picking number 3, and it's right here. And I showed you what that was the other day. So you're getting your basic white regular cardstock, your basic white thick. You're getting the tones, the tone blends, a color lifter, memento pad, and a refill. So the value is $79.50. And if you already have these, that's not a big deal. You can just choose something else at that same value. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let me. All right, so let me do the drawing. So I have my bucket, my handy dandy little bucket. I wish it had a lid. So I wonder if I could put my coat so I can give it a good shape. Make sure nothing's stuck to my coat. All right. And I'll stir. All right. Now, once I pick number 3, you need to let me know. You need to reach out to me with your address so I know where to send it, and if you need me to change anything else. And then your names still stay in here. So just because I'll be drawing number 4 doesn't mean you go and do another comment. You only get 1 comment. But if you order again, your name goes in there again. It's not like I dumped these. These are still the same, you know. You get more chances, I guess, right? The more we go. All right. I just want to make sure I only have 1. I'm stirring them up really, really good. All right. So the winner is Kathi Ivens, or Ivens. I could be pronouncing that wrong. So Kathi, make sure you holler at me with your address, and and then I'm just gonna tape this to my thingy. Or if you need something different, so I can change it. All right, because that will come. I'll have it shipped from Stampin. So anyway, so Kathi, you were number 3. So make sure you holler at me. Congratulations, Kathi. And so I'm going to say see you later so I can get this video uploaded. And have a great day. I will see you Friday for my Dies Shorts. And that will be 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. Who knows if we'll pick number 4. Maybe I'll have a good week and get some more orders in. I do appreciate it. I'm so excited for this milestone for sure. So I'm going to stop blabbing. We'll have a great day, great night, and I will see you Friday.